Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? I hope you are pretty good. Okay, today inshallah we are going to discuss about our material. Actually, last 2 weeks we have discussed about our material that is interpretive reading. So today we are going to discuss about making inferences. Yeah, this is one of the strategy that we can be used for reading comprehension, that it is a high level or it is advanced reading. Okay, the purpose of our material is to help you are to become more creative and critical when reading. Intinya tujuan dari mata kuliah kita ini atau topik hari ini adalah membantu pembaca, khususnya Anda, bagaimana bisa menjadi. Okay, now we go on to discuss more about making inference. Before we are going to discuss more about the definition of inferences, maybe I want to ask some question for you all. Have you ever read a passage in which the topic is not stated anywhere directly? So what did you do? Okay, of course, you must look for the clues and try to guess what the passage about. So it means that we can call it making inference. Inference is making scientific guess from the clues in order to get the main idea. Sometimes making inference we can call as reading between lines. This means that you use the information in the text to guess other things about the text. The guesses are made on the basis of what is or is not mentioned. So by making inference, you understand much about what you read and hear. For example, from the sentence, she blew out the candles and served the cake. So we can infer that a girl or woman is having her birthday party with other people or her guys, even though the sentence doesn't mention these things. So we can say the one. Berarti kalau kita mau katakan untuk inference ini, bagaimana kita ketika membaca diusahakan untuk bisa memahami apa yang kita baca. Mungkin jadi apa yang kita baca itu nanti akan membantu kita menebak atau mengira, tentunya berdasarkan clue yang ada. Untuk apa? Untuk mendapatkan ide pokok. Berarti kita dengan adanya clue tadi bisa menebak kira-kira apa isi yang apa kita. Dari contoh simple kalimat tadi saja bisa kita tebak ya. So this is about the making inferences. Okay. Now we go on the other point. We go on to the purpose and also the advantages of inferences. Yeah. The first one we'll talk about the purpose of inference. What are the purpose of inference? The first one is to help the readers to become more creative and critical when reading. So what does it mean? So readers don't only get what already have stated explicitly, but also implicitly. Intinya untuk apa ini kita dituntut bisa lebih kreatif dan kritikal ketika membaca ya. Mungkin bisa jadi kita bisa memahami tidak hanya apa yang sudah ada dalam teks, tapi juga bisa diharapkan yang implicitnya, yang tersirat. And next, what are the advantages of inference? Maybe the writers in English often don't explain everything to the readers. That's why you, as a reader, should try to guess what the writer means. Yeah. Sometimes we also need to guess about meaning when we don't know all the words. So this activity makes reader are able to get the main point of the material and improve their comprehension. Actually, this point from advantages of inference. Yeah. So try to guess what the writer means and get the main point material and improve the comprehension. This is about some points, advantages from making inference. Maybe you can mention the other point of view. It is from me. Okay. Now let's come to the other point. It is how to make inference. Actually, there are some steps that we do it for understanding about making inference. Actually, these are 5 ways. Yeah, the first one is be sure you understand the literal meaning first. The second one, ask yourself of a question. And third, use clues provided by the writer. And the fourth, consider the author purpose. And the fifth, verify your inference. So let's discuss about this one. Yeah. So the first we should discuss about how to make inference. Yeah. Before that one, I believe that it is difficult to outline the specific step to follow in making inference. Yeah, so since inference entirely depends on the situation at the fact provided. Yeah, and actually we need about our knowledge and experience with the situation. So we wanna to discuss more about the guideline for making inference that I have mentioned just now. There are 5. Yeah. So the first one we discuss more. Be sure you understand the literal meaning first. Before we can begin any form of interpretation, including inference, we must be sure that we have a clear grasp of the stated facts and ideas. For example, for each paragraph, then we should identify the topic, main idea, supporting details, and organizational pattern. Only when we have an understanding of the literal or factual content, we can go beyond literal meaning and formulate the inference. So there is some ways for the first step. And next, the second one, ask yourself a question. To be sure that we are making necessary inference to get the first meaning from the passage. So we ask ourselves, and actually we ask your question. For example, what is the author trying to suggest from the stated information? And the second one might be, what do all the facts and idea point toward or seem to add up to? And the other point, for what purpose did the author include these facts any details. Berarti ketika kita ingin memahami making inference, kita harus membuat beberapa pertanyaan. Bisa jadi kita tanyakan, kita mencoba apa yang informasi yang dinyatakan oleh penulis di dalam apa yang kita baca. Kemudian kita diminta usaha untuk mendapatkan atau melihat apa fakta atau ide yang berkaitan dengan teks. Kemudian apa juga tujuan dari si author ini untuk menyampaikan hal itu kepada kita melalui fakta dan detailnya. So we need answering any questions. So we must add together the individual piece of information to arrive at an inference. Okay, and then for the third steps, use clues provided by the writer. What does it mean? It means that a writer often provides numerous hints to point toward accurate inferences. What example? For instance, a writer's choice of word often suggests his or her attitude toward a subject. Berarti clue yang digunakan oleh writer itu, kita ada berupa pilihan kata yang diapakan oleh si penulis itu agar kita sebagai pembaca bisa memahami apa yang perlu kita terapkan. Ada poin yang harus kita lakukan untuk membuat accurate inference-nya. And the fourth, nomor 4-nya, consider the author's purpose. So we should consider the author purpose. To know or consider the author purpose is often helpful in making inference. If an author purpose is to convince us to purchase a particular product, as a core in advertising, for example, then as we begin reading, already have any clear idea of the types of inferences the writer hopes that we will make. Berarti kita harus diharapkan bisa memahami tujuan atau mempertimbangkan tujuan yang ingin dibuat oleh si penulis. Si penulis itu biasanya bagaimana meyakinkan kita sebagai pembaca untuk mengambil apa yang dia harapkan, contohnya seperti dalam iklan atau bagaimana ya. Itu berarti kita harus membaca, siap untuk membacanya dengan secara jelas, dengan ide yang benar, dengan type inference-nya. Okay, so the next, this last steps, verify your inference. How do we now do these steps? So we have some points. Once we have made inference, be sure to check that it is accurate. Kita harus melakukan keakuratannya. Verify your inference. Look back and the stated facts to see that there is sufficient evidence to support the inference. And also, be sure that we have not overlooked other equally plausible or more plausible inferences that could be drawn from the same or set of facts. Berarti ada kita pemahamannya lebih memverifikasi apa yang bisa kita inferencekan. Berarti keakuratannya itu penting sekali ya. Okay. So the other one I wanna to give more understanding. There are 4 tips for you if you wanna do the inference. The first one, inference are used extensively in both fiction and non-fiction. Berarti Anda lakukanlah secara intensif, apakah keduanya itu apa fiksi atau non-fiksi ya, lakukanlah dengan ekstensif. And the second one, inference usually depend on understanding the context of the conversation. Ada juga yang berdasarkan pemahaman kita terhadap konteks dalam pembicaraan. And number 4, Understanding inference is easier when you know the different meaning words and pay attention to the situation where the confusion is happen. Berarti untuk melakukan itu juga pemahaman kita, Anda ketahui juga perbedaan arti kata dan perhatikan betul di mana kejadiannya, di mana peristiwanya terjadi. And the last, inference are sometimes necessary and expected when someone doesn't want to say or write about something unpleasant. For example, he died in a car crash last night after leaving a bar at 3 in the morning. So, what does it mean? The man suggests that a man had an accident. Why? Because he had too much to drink at a bar. Berarti kenapa dia bisa kecelakaan? Karena dipengaruhi oleh minuman yang banyak, berarti mabuk berarti ya. So it is one of the way we want to do the making inference. And now we come to the last one. Maybe we can discuss about the kinds of inference. Actually, there are 3 kinds of inference. The first, inference missing information, and the second one, inference from conversation, and the last, inference from the short story. So let's discuss the first, inference missing information. What does it mean? Sometimes readers don't get complete information. Some are disappear because of unclear handwriting with paper, or even only a half it left. But by the words and the sentence left, you still can guess what information is exactly given. The following are some complete information. Yeah, so try to guess the missing information. Berarti ketika kita kehilangan informasi, berarti karena kita nggak mendapatkan complete idea ya, tidak mendapatkan informasi. Ini muncul karena mungkin tulisannya orang itu tidak jelas. Berarti ada yang hilang, ada yang rusak, atau dempet tulisannya, atau kurang jelas lah. Tapi dengan ada kata yang tinggal, berarti kita masih bisa menebak kira-kira apa informasinya. Berarti meskipun informasinya tidak lengkap, tapi kita bisa mencoba menebak kira-kira apa informasi yang kita bisa dapatkan. Nanti contohnya bisa Mr. berikan ya. And maybe I will give it to you. But the first one I will tell you a little bit the kinds of this inference. So the second one, inference from conversation. So we can also make a logical guessing from conversation, even though some information are not given explicitly. Berarti dari percakapan itu bisa juga kita melakukan inference ya. Misalnya mungkin informasi yang diberikan tidak secara nyata ya, tidak jelas. Nah, biasanya pada waktu listening itu biasanya terjadi. Anda kalau mengikuti tes TOEFL itu banyak soal-soal yang seperti itu ya. So based on the conversation, maybe we can guess what does it mean. We can make the inference, and maybe I will give some example for you. Ya, latihannya nanti kita berikan ya. And next, we go on to the last kinds of inference. That is inference from short story. Yeah, based on the short story. And we can also make an inference from the short stories. What is it for? It is to get the meaning. Yeah, to get the meaning. If we get difficulties to guess, misalnya kita mendapati kesulitan, so I suggest you you should skip it, the words and continue reading. Berarti ketika kita membaca sebuah short story, kita menemukan kata sulit, berarti ya lakukanlah biasanya kata sulit itu kita tinggalkan aja, lanjut aja dulu. Berarti kita skip ya. Kata-kata itu kita skip dan kita lanjut membacanya dulu. So based on this one, maybe we can do inference. Kita lakukan inference-nya. Meskipun kita tidak tahu arti kata sulitnya, tapi bisa kita memahaminya. So this is all the kinds of inference. Okay, maybe I wanna give you some short stories so we can practice it. Okay, that's all about the kinds of inference. Thank you.